take off from a relatively small airplane.
So we start with shutting it down, taking out the SD card, but also before opening up a Steam Deck, always put it in battery storage mode. We'll volume up and turn the Steam Deck on, go into the BIOS setup, go to power, and then battery storage mode. Tell it yes. That's going to disconnect the battery electrically. And let me tell you, not doing this has put a couple Steam Decks I've worked on in a weird power state that required just being unplugged and having the battery disconnected for a few hours. And then they always come back, so it's hardly the end of the world. I imagine there is a way for it to be deadly, but
I'm a juggler. I kept myself to juggle in my teens, and I've been juggling for.
play it safe all the time. She had some caps on here. I'll take that off. This is my wife's Steam Deck. I'm going to be swapping out
juggled them.
her buttons
Ping pong balls famously light.
for
And there's an
these
aspect
buttons.
about that ping pong ball moving through the cascade that was physically
1, 2, 3, 4.
like,
Each
it's hard to
one
describe
there.
unless you knew
There
how
it
to
is.
juggle and then it gave you 3 objects of back 2 different ways. That it's human,
Alright,
but
just
it's
get all
totally
4 of the
physical,
back cases off.
not visual in any way.
And then
That's just
usually
the chair. This chair,
I'm
the
able
holy
to just start
it
pulling
doesn't
it up.
soy human. Like it is also
Yeah.
physically hilarious to lift.
Val did a great
This is
job with
impossibly
engineering this.
light, but
It just
it's
comes
like-
apart
it's
so
like
great.
knowable. You
Doesn't
feel
just
it,
snap
right?
plastic constantly.
Oh my god, no, it's wait, right?
Put that
Yeah,
up there.
okay, gotta wait. Okay, I'll figure out how to do that.
Alright, lots of internals to go through.
We are set up. I've got my scale. By the way, this is a brand new scale I just found. on
Alright, so
Amazon
gotta
for about 40
remove
bucks.
the
It's great.
joysticks,
That's
remove these side
all.
daughter
That's
boards,
solution
and
of
have to
5
remove
grams. Spectacular.
these
Alright,
guys
so,
right
we
here.
are
So these are gonna have to come off
zeroed out.
first. Just a little spudger
Weigh the original chair. 6 pounds, 8.8 ounces.
to get in here.
6.5 pounds. All right,
There's
I'll
like
pull this
a
off.
little, basically there's sideways facing pegs. You basically want to grab the side of the button,
8 pounds.
and pry it off. The spudger's not the best for this, like a straight spudger is.
It's not even
Better, so I'm gonna go get a straight
I
spudger.
haven't even moved half of its weight, but 3 pounds. And all that. 3 3/4 pounds. That's pretty cool. Amico, by the way, the moment you sent that letter, I went back into your website and there's some beautiful work.
Straight spudger. It's got a.
I love the wooden version.
It's just straight. So I could just get it
These are
straight in there.
one of the stranger collections I have in the building is just of chairs. I have Knoll chairs from the Seattle Space Needle. I've got a decent Penn Pilots chair. Got an ejection seat. And now I've got 2 of the beautiful Anatolia mine and theirs. Oh my god. I am so excited. Great. Oh, that's right. You know what I'm also curious about? I'm curious about the weight of the packaging. Like, I'm wondering if my Amico is lighter than the box the other one came in. Let's just see that. There we go.
There we go. Just unhitch it. And there it goes. Now these buttons aren't being replaced. It's just the face buttons.
Exactly. Almost
I mean, they do sell
exactly the weight
replacements
of
for
the
these
chair.
kinds of buttons that
That's
my
hilarious.
Steam Deck
By our
has.
chair, it's almost as light as
Some
the box
transparent
itself.
ones.
That's really okay. Now,
There we go.
one of the things that's the funniest to me about the
Alright.
Holy chair is that people don't like to sit in it.
Alright.
Like everyone's a little afraid of sitting in it. Everyone's not me. But I'm gonna sit in it here and really get really close to as solid as the original, but now I get to do it.
Detach the joysticks.
Oh, there's no contest. There's
Which
a lot of
fortunately
movement
all
there.
use the same screw.
Yeah, it's light. You can feel it responding and kind of bending. And this one, not even close. Actually, let me show you
So
a
I can
side
just
profile.
put all those screws together with
Yeah, you can see it's
joystick
flipping.
component.
Look at that, right? Yeah, there's a little tiny movement there. That is all an artifact of the hole drilling. Because when I sit in this it's just, it's monolithic. It's like, it does
Pull
not
out.
move. That's cool.
Ribbons
So I
for the
made it more
joysticks.
elastic by drilling the holes in it, which would totally make sense. Amico,
Joystick
this is
one.
thank you for this delightful
Joystick
gift.
2. The joysticks don't actually block any of the buttons, but they block other things that block
Thank you
the
guys for
buttons.
joining me for this mailbox
Fun.
special. Yeah, this is one of the best ones in recent memory. See you guys later.
Alright, so now let's.
When I was a young model maker, I was always freelance. And when you're freelance, one of the best ways to get work is to draw attention to yourself, both for what you can
Alright, so
do and
this
also
one does
how you
have
do it. And one of the ways I drew attention to myself was
different
with my toolboxes. They were moderately absurd.
screws
Aluminum docking bags
in the
sitting on
different
scissors,
places.
so I
So
could
what
rise
I'll
them
do
up to the level of
is
my wood bench and give you access to every tool.
Take off the screws and put them down in the same
poster I
pattern.
drew a bunch of years ago of these toolboxes, and it includes
And I
lists
picked them up.
of every last thing that was in here, numbering thousands and thousands of dollars. For the first time ever, we're making these available to you signed, and you can get yours over at adamsavage.com. See you guys.
I'm realizing this part of things is a little different than it is on my OLED model. Since the daughter board is more of a full unit
That's what's happening. Hey, everybody. Adam Savage
with the
hey, Brad.
daughter board.
It's
So
time for a paint job. It's time to sink my teeth into
very
a nice, fat,
carefully.
difficult, complex, variegated, difficult paint job. And I have recently had a couple of experiences using alcohol inks. We did
Okay,
a shoot
this
at our
got
friends
this little
FBI
plastic piece.
and their
There.
lead painter Anadora walked me through Copic refill paint. Copic is a alcohol-based marker, and they sell refills.
Alright, see
And
there's
then
a
I
little
went
peg
over to
here, so
Sideshow,
that's being secured
where-
by this.
One of their lead painters was walking me also through alcohol inks, how great they
There.
are, and subtle leathering things. So, I have this marvelous figure. I'll tell you more about this figure later in the video, but I have this marvelous 3D printed crab dude
Alright, let's see
with
if
a
I can
tremendous amount of attitude.
pry this up.
We have printed him up nice and large. I'm going to be
So Mickey wants to
looking
move
at-
with this
I'm
here.
going to be looking at some interesting reference, specifically blue lobsters. Blue lobsters, a one in a million. But first, this is it's a freshly resin printed, but it's resin printed, and I can't really see it. So, and what I mean by not being able to see it is, if this needs any cleanup, I can't quite tell. So I'm going to give this all a coat of some white.
So I've still got these
primer.
3 ribbons attached here.
And then
For this
we can get
operation, I tend to
started.
leave them attached so that I don't have to deal with
One of the great things about the design
reattaching
of
them
this figure
later.
is that where all the
I'm
joints
gonna
meet,
try.
no finishing is required.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, a little bit
Chop
more
match
smudging, and
the
I got
gloss,
that
and
right
it's
off. Excellent.
beautiful.
Alright, so this whole
Okay,
mechanism, an additional screw here.
Just gonna do some setting up.
So
and
let's
some-
put that there.
Okay, so these crab is primered. I'm going to pull the
Looks
strips
like
out
that's
and
over.
glue them with some hot glue together so
Alright,
he is
great.
all one.
Yeah,
color.
that's over the
And
entire
now
button
you see-
assembly
now that I
up
can
here.
see him and I can
So
see
he's
all
gonna
of
leave all
his
that
topography,
attached so that I don't have to
it's time for me to put them all together and then
go in
spend
there
a
with
couple of days
tweezers
just
and make
staring
the whole
at him.
operation
That's the
harder.
goal.
So
Stare at him.
pull
see
off.
what I can do.
we got a
That's what we're doing.
membrane layer. Just gonna clean that off. Steam Deck's been around the block a few times, so there's her old menu button.
Oh yeah, look at that beautiful boy.
I'll put this new button in.
Get this all cleaned up. Excellent.
Not fitting. Come on,
Little
buddy.
dots here and there.
Doesn't look like there
Beautiful.
should be.
So pretty. Okay, we're gonna get a base for them.
Problem. There we go. Just a weird angle for it. Alright,
And you
we'll
see what I
grab
mean by being able to see
D-pad. D-pad
the
to the
form.
side.
So let's talk about this character. This is Herman Pinch wearing your hat in the cave. When did that happen?
Just store that somewhere safe.
Artist Paul Braddock. Paul has a website. We'll link in the description. He draws these beautiful characters in a digital frame and
Put that
then
there.
for
Keep it safe and keep
a
dust off. That's a
reasonable
piece from when
price,
these buttons
which
were
is
in my
$30,
deck. Alright, D-pad's in.
Super text. And then you print it yourself, and then you paint it. And I want to tell you, this is such a beautiful
And that's it for
sculpt.
that.
But even more than, and
At
I
least
alluded
for
to this,
this
that's
little
what
chunk
I
of
really
that.
love about it is that,
Put the membrane down again.
yeah, there you go. Is that
And then
the seam lines where the parts
Swing
of
this
the
piece
body
back
join
in.
together are all already part of the aesthetics Paul has drawn. So here's what I want to say about Paul Braddock's beautiful work is that
Thing it wedges under there.
the
Go.
modeling
All
here,
right.
the modeling here with the deep crevasses and the clear fat transitions between shell forms, it just, this model has been optimized to paint. I'm not sure if that was in his original plan, but I want to tell you as a painter, like, you just always
Bottom
wish
piece isn't
someone
quite in
could
place
do
here.
something with this much marvelous surface detail to explore.
Okay. I'm gonna back that out.
Nowadays,
We can figure out why
because that's what I wanted to do. I
that piece
put it
isn't
together
quite slipping
because
into place.
I had this idea for a paint job. And I have this really ambitious paint schema I want for him, and that I'm always compelled when they find those blue lobsters, not the breed of lobster called a blue lobster, I mean the ones that are like 1 in a million, that are like fully blue and the fishermen always throw them back. Those are so gorgeous. And there are some orange blue hybrids, which Herman Kimsky here is going to end up being for me. I took some pictures in my house yesterday and just did a little spin around of him, and I was really just sort of looking for
Yeah, okay, I see there's a little peg it needed to go on.
You know,
All right.
a lot of art directors would just grab colored markers and start
Honestly,
coloring.
I took this one apart a few times just to do some upgrades
Visualize it in my head
over here in this area,
what
but
parts
not a
would get
lot
what
over
color,
here.
how that
I've done
color
more
would
OLED
fade
work in
and
these areas.
transition to other colors. I found one detail on a red
Alright.
crab that I really like, which is
So
that the
now
tops
we're
of
over
all
here.
the spikes
We
of this
get
blue crab was
this-
bright orange.
This button
Like,
replaced.
follow
Which
that.
button is this? Is this the Steam
I'm
button?
also nervous.
It is the
It's going to be
Steam
a long
button.
paint job. It's going to take me a while. There's going to be a lot of
Alright,
steps
so
to it. I need to primer it
menu.
white now into separate. I need to take
So
apart separate
menu, I
pieces,
believe, is the one
prime
that
it
it gets
white,
replaced with.
then,
You can't mech these up.
actually start to
Got
lay
little
down
nubs
the
on
color.
them to
Start
make
to
sure you
lay
put the
down
right one in the right
base
place.
colors, right? So it's going to.
Membrane
I
back
believe
on.
that what I'm going to do is give it a very gentle off-white all over.
Alright,
And
there
then
we
I'm
go.
going to go for a
Set
kind of
down.
a medium light brown beige, which I'm going to
And
leave
this
the
one's
belly
good.
sort of, let the beige circle the belly so it's like the whitest part of him. It's the whitest part of me. And then fade
Okay.
out to the other colors.
This plate is for the
blues. I'm also going to
trigger
lay
button to
that
attach
brown
to.
into all the
That goes right
inclusives
there.
here, but that might be later with alcohol. So that's the
Just
first
start
step.
screwing these
I
down.
just want to say I'm a little bit reticent to start. Just got a couple of hours before I have a lunch date, and part of me just burn around rebuilding the shelf. But like, I know I want to paint this. I know I want to fire up this airbrush. So I'm going to do that. It's a chaotic process, and I just want to give you permission at home. Watch it. Let the chaos of the process play out. Yeah, I feel a little vulnerable. Is what I really all just trying to say about painting this. I do also want to alert to a new piece of equipment that I am madly in love with, which is the very thing this spins on. I know you might say, well, that just looks like a lazy Susan. And yes, I guess one word for
Alright.
it would be a lazy Susan.
See,
But
we should have.
if you are a pumper, or
See how that
if you have
feels?
enjoyed any of those videos,
I'm used to the clicky ones on mine, but these
potters and hammering with
feel
heat
right.
bolts on a heavy spinning wheel. That's what this is. It's
Where's
called
the
a
deck?
banding wheel. I'll include a link to this
I'm
one.
not gonna put the joysticks in because there's plenty of ways
Heavy.
to damage them. I'm
My
gonna
wife is doing some pottery.
not risk any of that
And she got a banding wheel. And
until it's done. So,
And these are less expensive than about $75.
alright.
It weighs
They repeat the same process over here.
It's absolutely fantastic.
All these
For
out.
this kind of thing. It's just delightful. And I'm so happy to
Maintain
have
the
it in my
pattern.
cave. Why am I walking around and I have this banding wheel and I think it's great? Because I don't want to get paint on my new banding wheel. Check this out. This is
Alright, so there's a couple extra
two-stage hep filter.
ribbons on this side that I am going to disconnect. So there's one of these is for audio, and one of them is one of them's back to the main board, and the other one is for communicating across to the second daughter board.
So
Let's take that off.
this is really cool. My
Now
friend
I gotta
Jan
lift
is
this. There we go.
I used to work with Jan way back in the day when I was a young model maker in San Francisco in the early '90s. He was
Daughter
regularly
board's
a
up. So
gaffer
now we're gonna
on commercial sets that I was on.
release.
And after 25 years or so
Shoulder
as a
button.
general contractor, he just retired and gave me some equipment. Among it is this portable HEPA filter, 2 filters, a particulate and a HEPA. And I just ran a little
Oh,
test
I'm
with
gonna have
my
to
smoke machine
release
for
the
my
metal tray
satisfaction.
here. It's overlapping the screw just a little bit.
That all of the smoke went in here. I
Here.
don't know if you saw, but no smoke came out there. Yeah, it's really cool.
Out of the way.
I've been wanting to sit at this table
There we go. Now it's up.
and safely paint without a mask for a long time. So,
We go around.
might not be much to
Flip it
get started.
around
Get
to
started.
keep the cable.
Get started.
Right.
Sorry about the noise.
Another
Let's talk about painting.
membrane. This one's nice and clean though.
So
So
I
I'm gonna
right
go
now-
on with that.
I've mixed a
Start pulling buttons.
very light brown,
Got the
and I am using it.
menu button, I guess. Select. One of them's a menu, and there's a name for the other one.
So I've got some
Start
brown
and
down
select
here
has that. This should
all
be
over
the
the
start
place, and I'm
button.
gonna take a little
Alright, two
rubbing
buttons
alcohol
in
and pull it
place.
off the high spots.
Pull out the X.
I just wanted to sit. That's why I gave this thing such a gloss tone, so I could get the dirt to sit inside,
New X in.
and I could use rubbing alcohol to pull off the
And
paint,
there's the Y.
and I get a really nice result.
The new Y in.
Rubbing alcohol flashes quickly.
There's the B.
And I can just keep on coming in here and messing with this. And when I like it, I'll clear it.
I dropped it and it fell right into place. Perfect. I guess
But I
it's a
wanted to
testament
show
to how
you
well it's
one of the
designed. Huh?
legs and show you,
And there's
like,
the A.
I use this coat to kind of get to know the model and how paint is going to help me see.
Alright.
All
Peel
painting
off
is
this
about being able
membrane.
to see the thing and see it clearly.
The triple dot button.
So, I just want to show
And
you.
recently it has a name,
Okay,
but
so
I
here is an
still
unpainted
haven't learned
leg.
it yet.
Just take a look. Take a look at unpainted leg.
Oh, I guess there is the right way up
I'm
for
going
that
to
one.
spin it so you can kind of get to know it.
Put the membrane in
Notice
place.
the joints.
Triple dot.
Notice the planes.
Membrane.
Think about what gets
For
dirty
all
when
the
it
little
moves.
faith boys.
Flip it.
Alright, and now
It's all
we're
just
gonna
getting to know it.
bring this back in. Put you
Alright,
on.
now let's add.
So there's a peg that goes under something, and there's a hitch. Right, there we go. Metal just enough to get it back in place. There we go. There we go. Tighten down. Shoulder button assembly. Good. Oh, you know, this is gonna be important in a minute. Bring back in place. There we go. Nice and neat. All the ribbons still attached.
Sorry about that. Okay.
And I've got a screw left over. Oh, I forgot to put
Now we're
the
gonna just pull off a little bit.
top bit back on.
Oh, look at that. You see what I'm saying? Putting it on, taking it off,
Ah, I see what it is.
right? I mean, look, it's really, really subtle. Okay, so already I can see that, like, this little line is going to want a little treatment.
There we go. So it's nice little lost screw just comes right back on. I've got a screw lost
Building up.
in the bottom of my desktop PC. It is going to be annoying to fetch. I do need to fetch it. It fell down into the bottom compartment. That is kind of sealed off for cable prettying purposes. There we go.
So I hope that's a little bit of an object lesson on how to kind of. So do you see all of a sudden each of these parts of the beautiful sculpt start to look like they connect with each other? They start to look like they have relationships. Yeah, let's fix that down.
This is the bottom one. There we go. It's always nice when all the screws go in. Nice and snug. Alright, let's get these ribbons back in place. Yeah, Valve's engineers really go away putting everyone else to shame. How accessible they make their devices internally.
Sorry about that. Oh, wait, don't touch your mom. All right, so now I'm gonna put all of these
Connected,
on that
connected,
first
connected.
pass.
Alright,
I am now
see how the
going
buttons
to
feel?
add in some real dark into these. I'll be
Oh,
pulling it back right away. So I'll be spraying, pulling, spraying, pulling. And my goal is to get some dark to lie down all over
That's good. Alright, let's wire her up.
I gotta do that before I do any of the other stuff.
Alright, joystick time.
All around, all over there.
Fortunately,
All
they
over there.
label
Now I'm
them
gonna pull it back off.
left hand, which is of course on the right hand side from this perspective,
Right? Right?
and right hand, which is on the left hand side from this perspective. Make sure there's some little pegs.
See what that does? See that? Take a look at the difference. See? Yeah. Right? You see
So the
this
Steam
one
Deck
better
case
than
is
you
great
see
because
this
it's molded to the joysticks, so it makes it a great surface to lay this on without putting too much undue pressure on the joysticks or any other part. Oh, I have a little too much torque on that one. Tend to have a loose hold on my electric driver so that the driver will just spin instead of putting more force on it when it bottoms up the driver. Yeah, screwdriver. Screwdriver. Right. Reconnect. I think that look very even. Alright, great. Also not looking very straight. There we go. Alright. Daughter board. Connector. Alright. Check, 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 check. Alright, everybody's in. Alright, so to bring it back out of battery mode, I just need to battery state remote. I just need to plug in the Steam Deck's original charger. I guess in theory maybe this will work with other chargers, but Valve always says use the Steam Deck charger. So plug it in. Got a light. So push the button. Bring it on. Actually, I might have already just turned on. Hey, that's a good sign. You know, my wife said she didn't think she'd like these buttons with this skin. She's got a different skin. These actually, I feel like the orange actually really blends really well with the copper trace patterns on here. New buttons are from Steam Deck Buttons, deckbuttons.com. If you want to get any. They're pretty cool. A little pricey, but they're really cool.
I've got really great orange pattern on
Alright,
it,
we're up.
variegation, saturation.
So we're going to go to settings.
I'm pretty happy with how that's playing out, and I can modulate later. I'm
And
curious
we're
thing,
gonna go
part of me wants to
to
coat this with a clear
Controller.
coat and then hit it with a blue, because that'll allow
Begin
me
test. Alright. Oh, pull the left
to
trigger.
take out.
I did not install the left trigger again.
I think I'm gonna have to do that.
Plugged in. Fortunately, these aren't electric.
Because as soon as I hit
There's
it,
some kind of
so
magnetic
I
thing in
think
the
what I'm
back,
gonna do is pull off some of the
but they are not
and then,
electric. So we
add
got a little
in some
peg that the spring attaches to. There's a peg down here. Basically, just put it on the peg and bring the button. There we go. Around the pegs. And then it's on. Nice and easy.
on the face of this.
Well, nice and easy
going
once you've
down,
done it a couple times.
and slowly just I've got these two
Gotta apply a little
colors,
pressure.
orange
There we go.
and blue.
Alright.
They're kind of at either end of a color spectrum.
Alright, we go back up. Alright, pull the left trigger.
But
Pull the right
they gotta
trigger.
play together. I need the oranges to be bright and the blues to be.
Here we go. Got full range on them.
And as soon as you have
Finger
paints
over
on
the
it,
left
you're
trackpad.
mixing
Didn't do anything about
the
that,
snow
but
bit.
across the
So
right
I
trackpad.
always knew I was going to paint the orange.
Click the
first.
trackpad, move the left
Like I
joystick in
said,
a
I've
circle.
got, I think, a really
Click it.
nice. That
Right
feels
joystick in a
quite
circle.
authentic
Click it. Alright.
as far as a
Push
coloring
all
vertical station. So I'm giving it a bearing,
remaining buttons.
which means I can no longer mess with the orange. If I
boop.
mess it up from here, I don't just strip paint. I have to re-primer the whole thing, which is fun. I can totally
The volume button seem fine. We know the power button's fine. That's all the front buttons. So now it's just the rear button. So go ahead and reapply the case. Get it all in place. Alright, start screwing them down. So the middle screws are the shorter screws. So those go right into the metal frame in the middle of the Steam Deck. And then these longer screws are all the outside ones. I don't think you can really. I don't think you can really get this wrong, because if it's too long, it won't go all the way into the metal one. It's not like the plastic one where if it's too long, you can, in theory, grind it down lower. Back of this is some better days. I'm going to get a wipe and clean it up a bit. Alright, just one more. My wife and I, and frankly any as it come through me, I try to put one of these remove SD stickers so that when I'm looking at the screws, I have a direct reminder I need to take the SD card out or consider continuing, if there is one, of course. Alright, and boop boop, boop boop. And now That's everything. All the buttons responding good. Oh, it does need to charge. Right. Reapply the thumbstick covers. I'm so used to my clicky ones now. Feels really different. Just like make sure everything is nice and sealed. Alright. Now my wife just needs to change her vinyls out to the one she wants, and that's it. That's it.